Hello everyone. Welcome to our stream. Welcome gamers and enthusiasts. Today we will be conducting a really fun live stream featuring none other than hyperPad Ambassador Space. Prepare yourselves for an adventure like no other as we journey through the creation of Space's latest indie sensation, Clout Alternate. Before we delve into the magic of game dev, let's first take a moment to appreciate Space's remarkable journey. As a junior high schooler with a knack for innovation, he has left a big mark on the HyperPad community with games like Cloud Uploader and Cloud Uploader Forever, which you can play for free on the HyperPad Viewer app. So now, join us as Space embarks on um, this adventure with Clout Alternate. This game isn't just a simple game, it's a fusion of innovation and familiarity, drawing inspiration from other amazing games like Job Simulator and Splatoon's roguelike game elements. So, yeah, um, Cloud Alternate, as a brief background, is the city will be like a playground. So you can explore, engage, and conquer mini games that offer a gateway to a lot of entertaining rewards. And you can earn clout currency every time you click into these mini games, which can be located on the buildings. You can upgrade your skills and become the big boss of the city, essentially. So yeah, today you'll be part of Space's journey as he polishes up the bank robbery mode and a set of other skills which he'll talk about a bit more in a little bit. And yeah, you'll see how fun it is to easily make an indie game of your own on HyperPad. Yeah, without further ado, here is Space.
Hello, everyone. Um, Today I'm going to be working on like 4 different things. I have the bank polishing mode, which is just bank robbery, which I'll be starting with first because not a lot to do. We have adding more of the upgrades, which I'll talk about when I get there. And then we're going to be working on a whole different mode, which I have not started. Well, I've kind of started on, but I'll get to work on it today. So that's going to be really fun. Then we have dialogue if there's time permitting. So let's get into it. So I think this mode is quite complete. I just have like a few things to fix. Like, oh, that's a fun way to start the stream. Okay. Anyway, oh, by the way, I am using the new beta test for HyperPad, which includes the new hub, and I like it so far. And we also have new fonts for like the default menu. And in my opinion, I think it's way better than the old font. So it's pretty awesome. We're gonna get to this later. It's actually for one of the upgrades I was talking about. But basically, in this mode, it's like an infinite runner mode. So, well, first we're gonna add the dialogue. So we're gonna have this little dialogue box, which is full of code. So we start touching this character, which is made by Autodimensional, which is one of the partners I'm working with for this game. And so basically, after the dialogue happens, it's going to start the game. So for now, I'm going to go into the dialogue box and just so this programming is from a tutorial that RX Codes posted pretty, say 2 years ago, maybe. See, I like hyperPad because like most of the tutorials you can still use like up to today. So it's pretty useful. If you want to learn more about like this code for It's essentially for typewriter text. So if you want to learn more about it, I would suggest go and look at the video on the hyperPad YouTube. I think it's about around 8 minutes long, but some of the stuff you can skip because there's a lot of filler. But it's still pretty fun to watch because I like RX's editing style as well. So here we have our writing behavior, which is going to broadcast this value into this receive message behavior. And so when it receives the message, it's going to like take it through all of this and like eliminate spaces and like where it sounds. It's a lot, but it's still pretty cool once like it all gets working together. But for now, I'm just going to add a started touching behavior. And then after you touch it, it's going to close the overlay because so it can like start the process of the game. Now we're going to go back into the bank scene, and once the overlay closes, because it pauses the game, it's going to start a small little cutscene, and then we'll be off into the game. So once we tap it, it'll bring it to cutscene, and then we start the game. And so the like, main goal of this game is to collect stars, which get you 2 clout per star. And this is also really nice result screen I implemented around last month. I think so. The result screen takes like values from the scene into the overlay, and it took me a while to figure it out, but after I figured it out, I just went crazy with it. At first, I tried to do it with the layer, but I think it worked out in the end. Also, the cutscene is right here. So, like for the cutscene, I used the code in this area. So, like it brings the screen to the little character over here. So it makes the character play the animation too. And we have a little sound that plays around the same time it starts. And then I wait a little while, like using a timer or stopwatch. I found around which time the animation stopped, and then we have another little effect where after the cutscene, they have like a little particle that appears to like mimic him breaking through the wall. So originally, this mode was going to have just you collect 5 stars and then you get out. But I feel like making it more infinite give it like more replayability. And I think replayability in this game is going to be like the main topic in this game, because I mean, why would you just walk straight through a hallway and then go back and do it again? So this is a shop, which we're gonna be working in later, which this is where you get like your upgrades or brain boosters. So in here we have like extra time, dashing faster, and they all like work for different modes. So like if I had like faster dashing, it would be for the bank, so I can get away faster. But I think the bank is pretty much done, so we can go ahead and mark that off. But now we're gonna do more by adding another upgrade to the shop. So all this art you see in the game is all made by me in Procreate. So like I can share it, and then I mean I'm not gonna share it right now because stuff might pop up, but I have it saved. And so let's say I wanted this asset to be imported. So I could just drag it in and then boom, I have a piece of art that I made in this game. So hyperPad lets you import whatever you want, as long as it's, I think, not too big. I think I'm gonna use this as a placeholder for now. So for these, the code in each of the little boxes just has like a load file. So like see if it's been bought before. And so like the timer checks every 0.1 seconds to see if it's been bought. So like keep it up to date. It's like if I bought this one and then like not even a second later it would turn gray because I bought it just now. So most of the code comes from this text, which is more typewriter text. So I've made it interactive for like loading. From like if you have a certain skin on, it'll give you like unique dialogue, but there's also unique dialogue without that certain skin as well. And this just gives me like a lot of clout for no reason. Like I just added it so I could work on the features without having to do all the work. But it won't be like that in the normal game, so don't worry, guys. And so if you notice, like in the scene, I can scroll left and right, and that's all thanks to these behaviors right here. So like if I swipe to the left, it's going to move to the left by 5, and if I swipe it to the right, it's going to move to the right by 5. And I also have these little transitions. So like comparing, if I just have it linear, it's going to move like so. It just like moves without like bounciness and stuff. But if I like change it back to what I had before, I think it was in out quadratic, you'll see it has different like properties. So like it starts going faster and then slows down. So I can buy these. So it takes place in the buy button where I check to see if what I selected is. So I get the name from selecting the box that I want. And so I'll copy this behavior tree by holding down on the little 2 square button right here, which usually just duplicates 1. If you hold it down, you can duplicate it, like the entire behavior tree. So I'll paste it back into here. And now I'll select the placeholder button I have. And so then after it's selected, it'll show the text, which is all this text right here, including the price, the Clout label, and the buy button. So now let's say this brain booster is going to teleport us like wherever we click in some mode. So I'll name it tap to teleport. And so this is like a level 3. I don't have them like labeled, but so these 3 all have a price of 500, as you can see in these set labels. But once you get to this one, then all of them are going to cost 1,000. So we have this one, and this one all equal 5,000. 1,000. Sorry. And so now for this one, we're going to have it equal to 1,500 since each one has gone up 500 for each level. So now when we touch it in the game, oh, okay. My mistake. I did not change. So now we're gonna add a new if behavior to our buy button. So like when we start touching the buy button, it's going to get the label. It's like what the label says. So let's say I want to buy this less friction brain booster. It's 500. I have way more than 500. So I'll click buy. And so it lets me buy it because of what I have. So first of all, it loads the file. So ER stands for extended reach. And so it checks to see if I have it. And if it equals yes from when I do buy it, it'll broadcast to the right behavior saying that I cannot buy it again because I already have it. But if I don't have it, it'll get how much clout I have, which takes place here. So this button in the scene, it's still in the global, but it just takes how much I have right here and transfer it to right there. So it'll get it from the original, and then it'll check to see if I have more or less than. If I have more or equal to 500, then it'll let me buy it. But if I don't have 500, like I have 499 or less than that, it'll tell me that I'm a little short on clout. But if I have enough, then it'll take away 500 clout, and then it'll save ER equal to yes, and then it'll tell me thanks for buying this item. So now I can do what I did earlier and just copy and paste the behavior tree into this. And then I'll name this to get this label, which is the name label. So I'll name it TTP for tap to port. And then I'll connect it. So now I'll make a new key in the save to file right here. And then I'll also call it TTP to avoid confusion later, like if I want to add it. And so it'll save it as yes right here. So it'll go through the same process, but now it'll just be a different key. So now I'm going to go back to the name and make this label called TTP. So now still not working, but I might know why. I think just need to change this to TTP as well. I'll make the hitbox bigger just so I can see. So now we have all of these brain boosters. So we have TTP. So I'll buy it and it turns gray because I had a lot of clout and it let me buy it. So now we're going to go to my overlay called the brain lever, which is where all of my upgrades will show up. So I think I'm going to have the one I just added be part of the movement category. So I'll just put the same image that I had as the one in the other scene. And so for this, so every 0.1 of a second or 1/10 of a second is going to load from the file that it's called movement to see if it equals TTP or if it doesn't equal TTP. But it's also going to check like when the scene first starts, if I have this one or not. So it'll be TTP, and it's going to load from that file, see if it equals to yes, and then if it equals yes, then it'll show the graphic so I can tap it. And so when I tap it, it'll save the value TTP to the movement. And so now I can let me reset my save data real quick. You're going to go back to the shop. I'm going to go buy the TTP again. Now we're going to go to our brainwave code. Where'd it go? Oh, okay. Think I figured out my problem. The hitbox is too small again. See, that's the thing about copying objects. You gotta make sure your hitboxes are still wide enough. So now I selected it. So, and when it goes back, it'll go back to the movement icon right there, meaning that I have that one selected. So now we're gonna bring back that move to point behavior, so it can move back to here when it's not equal to TTP. It's like I reset it. Oh, all right then. Here's how I'll fix this. I'll just get a little box to bring it to. So now when I reset it, it'll go back to that box. So now we're going to implement the TTP into the robbery mode. So you see I'll have two different colors at the beginning. and right here. And this is so only one color can be teleported on. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna leave. So this is what I was talking about. This is going to be our teleportation behavior. So when I tap something in this lighter blue, it'll move me to the point I tapped on. And so what we're going to do, we're going to get a load from file behavior. And we're going to put them by the other load from files we have down here for the other brainweavers. Which actually, I don't need that from file. Because you see, this movement behavior right here is going to let me choose which one. So let's say I had less friction enabled, it would see if it was equal to less friction, and if it did, it would set physics property to have less friction, more air resistance, and more balance. And then if I had a faster dash, I would change the value of this input field which is somewhere around where my dash behaviors are. So now we're going to add this started touching. So now that I have my TTP enabled, I'm gonna notice an issue. This was loading from the wrong file. It was loading from this file, which is a different key. So I need to add this little input value to here so that it loads from the correct file. So now you see it'll work. I think now I'm going to add another behavior under there. So we're going to have a enable set behavior state. So we're going to choose I'm going to rename it. So it would be called teleport. And so we're going to search for teleport in here. So now when the value is equal to TTP, it'll enable the behavior that was disabled right here. So now I can tap anywhere on this blue and teleport. So now it's different because now I can just teleport away from him. But that's kind of overpowered, is it not? So now we're going to add a cooldown to this power. So we're going to have not an empty object, we're going to have a label. It's going to tell me if my teleport is ready or not. So it'll be green if it's ready, and it'll be red if it isn't ready. So we're going to go in this behavior as well. and we're going to load from the file of movement that if it's equal to TTP, then it'll hide the behavior using the set, well, hide the graphic. Well, if it's not equal to TTP, then it'll hide the graphic. But if it's equal to TTP, then it will show the graphic. Now we're going to go back into our space hack character where we have our teleport behavior. So now we're going to have it so after we click, we're going to see an if. We're going to have an if behavior and a get label behavior. So we're going to have get label if the get label of text, which will be teleport not ready, it's equal to teleport ready, then it'll move to the point that we tapped on. But if it's not, and it's equal to teleport not ready, then it will not move it to the point, and instead it will play a sound. So we'll have a sound from one of the pre-existing sounds I already have. And now we're going to add more behaviors to after the move to point. So after, we're going to have a set label, the same label that we just got from, and now it'll say teleport not ready. But for the cooldown, we're going to have a wait behavior, which after 5 seconds, it'll bring the teleport back. So after each teleport that we do, we're going to have another set behavior state. And I'm going to rename this to teleport wait. So now we're going to have it execute teleport wait after each time we teleport so it can redo the cooldown. So if we wait 5 seconds, then it should change to teleport. All right. And to change the color, since make it easier to know if we have it ready or not, we're going to change the text color the text outline to green. Oh, well, we can change the color from here. It'll just take a different behavior. Okay, so we're going to have this be teleport ready. But now we're going to go back into our transform. And we're going to have this set color behavior, set the text back to green. And now we're going to bring this back to our code over here. And after it sets the label, it'll change the color back to red. So now, once we get our teleport ready, we can teleport, but then it won't be ready for another 5 seconds. So now we can use it again. So now we have a functioning cooldown for our brain booster. So now, let's say it's getting really close to me. I'll just teleport away, but now I can't teleport for another 5 seconds. And see, the burger's still following me, even though I can teleport, which means that this power-up is now done. And I can also share how the burger follows you for the people that are interested. So the way the burger follows you is that it gets your coordinates by moving to that object. And you'll see I have it set to a certain speed that it'll follow you by. And so these are some pretty outdated behaviors. So what I can do is I'll replace these behaviors. So see if these behaviors are orange, that means that they are no longer the current up-to-date behaviors. So I have joystick input. So I believe this would be joystick left, and this would be joystick right. So let's try it out with our joystick. So now we have it following which direction we're facing. Notice if we teleport on a star, that gives us more than one star. So I think the way we fix this, just make it passable. So now, see if we teleport on a star, if it gives us more than what we had. See, it still gives us more. But I think that's just a thing that I'd always do. But I mean, who am I to stop it since, you spent 1,500 clout on it. I guess it could work as a bonus. Which I don't think there's a bonus for like stars in general. I think it's just like a bonus for clout. So the 2 times clout will still work, but the other one won't. And so now we have one extra brainweaver that we added. And so we can mark that off. And I think one more thing we're going to do for the bank mode is that we're going to fix the dialogue that I just added a placeholder for earlier. So here we have our start touching behavior. And And so first, our wait behavior is going to wait a tenth of a second. And so after a tenth of a second, it's going to say, what do you want? And so then it's going to enable a started touching. And so now we're going to have a execute sequence behavior, sequential. So what an execute sequence behavior does in a sequential order, it'll go from left to right. So let's say we have 1 and 2 right here. So after it says, what do you want? I'll touch it. It says 2. Should say 1. They both say 2. Right. So 1. See, I think to fix this, we'll just put a set behavior state and call it tap. So that way, say disable or enable it. And then, so now it'll go from 1 to 2 each time we tap it. So now we have our tap behavior working. So now we're going to add more to it. So it says, what do you want? So now it's going to say, trying to rob the bank. Then I would say ... And for this one, we're going to also add another behavior where we're going to change the input speed of the way it writes. Which means we're going to change the interval of this timer by making input field behavior out of it. And we're going to call this timer write speed. And so this right here behavior, we're going to also have it disable tap. So we're going to have this be 1 second. And then we're also going to, so every 1 second it'll display a new character. So now we're going to get another wait behavior right here. Wait after about 3 seconds. It'll enable tap again so we can have another right here behavior. I'll say we'll change the input field again. We'll say really? You do know we have I'm going to change this back to 0.05. And then after that third one, now there's going to be a fourth one that says good luck, I guess. And now after that one, after that final tap, it's going to close the overlay and then it'll start the cutscene from there. So let's just test it from here. Okay, so I made it one character in total, but it should be 3 different spaces. It's my fault. But now we have to restart the behavior. Alright. So now it'll type out the dot 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 really slowly. So after that, it should close the overlay. So now we're going to go back to the bank. And now we're going to tap on the little guy. So now we'll say, what do you want? Try and rob the bank. Then I'll have a really slow dot dot dot. And then it says, really? You know we have cops on site? Good luck, I guess. And then it'll start the cutscene over here. And then we can start the game. So now we have all our teleports ready as well. And so that's the finished product of the bank. So now we're going to start on a new mode, which will be the ice cream restocking mode. So now we're going to figure out ideas on how we can get this mode to work in general. So I think first we'll have our assets right here, in which we'll find our ice creams in one of these folders. Here it is. So we have four different ice cream flavors. We have our Meltdown, Mint Green, Space of the Galaxy, and Red Hat's Rage. So what I'm thinking for this mode, we have four different little spawning areas. I think I also have the chat open now, which I did not have. So now if anyone has like any ideas for me to implement into this game, like in this mode particularly, I will look at them and I'll like see if I can like implement them and if I like them. But for now, we're just going to have a little test area where we're going to have this little empty object be like a spawning grounds. So like let's say I started touching this thing, and then I'm going to have a spawn object for, say, this. Make sure to change your layers, guys. Alright, let's try this again. Okay, so we're gonna have the spawn, the meltdown ice cream onto an area. Alright, so an area. So we'll change the spawn area to be around here, but also we'll make this one to be able to be dragged and dropped. We'll make this also be smaller. We'll make the hitbox smaller as well. Misinformation. Clout currency can not yet, I guess. I would say it can do it in probably about 20 years, give or take. I don't think you should use Clout to bail yourself out of prison. Yeah, I've tried it. It didn't work. How I-dimensional. So now we have a spawning ice cream station. So I made the ice creams have physics because why not? And they just knock around ice cream everywhere. Pretty fun. 10,000 clout cash. That's not gonna do you a lot. So now we're going to have this. Oh, I just had a really cool idea. Okay. So we have this area. Like maybe we have a timer every like 10 seconds. And then now you only have like, well, yeah, we'll do 10 seconds for now. Because there's going to be a timer. I think. That would be 100. Oh, that's fun. Anyway, let's just get rid of the timer for now. And we'll bring the testing playground over here. So I think we're going to, every 10 seconds, we'll have it change colors. So we'll have it execute a sequence, which is like, but instead of sequential, we'll have it be random. So every 10 seconds, it'll choose a random color. So let's say we're going to have 2 different colors. Make a button that places a tritone. Well, do I need that right now? All right, so we'll have two different colors. We'll have this one, which I'll save right here, and we'll have this one, which I think was already saved right there. And so now we're going to use that color that it changes to in our ice creams. So we'll have drag and drop. And so if it collides, a collision event, if it collides with this little box right here, it'll be we'll get its color first. So get color of the box. And so if the color may just get a set color real quick. Okay, so if the color of this is equal to that, then it'll destroy that that clone of the object, and it'll also add to score. Say like 5 clout. Okay, now we'll have the spawn area be right here. Clout tube update, yes.
Awesome. Are you almost done, Space?
We can end at any time. I'm just working on this mode.
Cool. I mean, if you'd like to continue, more than happy to let you do so. Also, if you're interested, I have about like 4 questions for you that I think our viewers would also be interested in hearing.
See, we can do the questions now.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. So, one of the questions would be, what tips do you have for new game developers looking to create their own games?
Um, my tip is to like follow your interests, because like don't make a game that like you know is going to be like super hard or like you don't want. Like if you lose interest, it's okay. Like just maybe drop it and then come back to it later. Because I know I've had to like stop developing games because I just felt like they weren't going anywhere. Like my Clout Uploader Forever game, I was just having trouble like coming up with ideas since I've already done most of the ideas in that game in a previous game. So I just like took a break from it, and then I came up with the idea of Clout Alternate, and now see I have lots of progress on this game already.
Yeah, absolutely. In 1 hour alone. That's a lot. Well, then how do you stay motivated and inspired while developing the game?
Um, I just think of like the possibilities of what I can do, and sometimes I'll just get like random motivations like after a long day of school, and sometimes like just coming up with ideas for your game like in random areas. Like I'll bring like a sketchbook with me somewhere and just like write down ideas I get, so when I get home I can work on them.
Ooh, that's really good. Well, oh, what has been your favorite part of the development process for Cloud Alternate?
My favorite had to be making this restaurant mode.
Yeah.
If any of the viewers have played the original Clout uploader, it's more so the lines are on this, where you just like press a button, but now you can go around and like throw food and stuff. I think it's really fun, and the process of making it was like really fun, and also the making of the upgrades was really fun to do as well, and just coming up with the idea was the way I came up with it was hilarious because like I was just in geometry class and like, what if I added this to my game?
That's so cute. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, and finally, how important is it to get community feedback in shaping the development of games like yours?
Ooh, okay. So I think feedback is like one of the main things I always want, like animation or a game. I always want feedback on like what I could do better. And so like in my game, I'll have a link to like a Google form to like you report bugs or just like an idea you would like to see in the game, so I can like look at it and see if like I would like to add that or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Well, that's all the questions I have for now. If you want to continue, feel free to continue. And just let me know when you'd like to end the stream.
I think we could probably save this making of this mode for another stream.
Yeah, happy to
Because
do so.
I mean, I'll work on it off stream, but I'd also like to work on this on stream because this is a pretty big move.
Hmm.
Because after this one is done, then I just have like a lot of reskins to do, and then like we'll have the first version of this game ready. So
Sounds awesome. Okay, then I guess we will wrap it up here.
we can
Uh,
wrap it up.
yeah, thank you so much, Space. And just a quick shout out. Let me just stop sharing my screen. And oh, how do you? Wah, wah, wah. I want to remove this. Well, not okay. Well, I was gonna share a QR code when I figure that out. I will. But yeah, guys, do support Space in his indie game development by subscribing to his YouTube channel, which I'll add to the caption after this live. And you all feel free to join his Discord server for the latest updates and community interactions. And there's also a Google form where you can provide feedback to Space. And you can even play the Clout Alternate demo on hyperPad or hyperPad Viewer for free. So thank you guys for joining us today, and do like and share this video if you learned something. So thank you. Bye.